say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Thank you, County Executive Dan McCoy, for the invitation to join with everyone today as we witness his presentation of the state of the county. To all of my elected colleagues in public service and public office, I thank you for the partnership that we enjoy in continuing the conversations that are so vital as we work together to make things happen to the good for the people that we mutually serve. To all of those who are here as members of the county legislature who join with the leadership here, with the county executive and the leadership of the county board and the membership of that county legislature, thank you not only for the great job that you're performing, but for your willingness to serve. It is not an easy task, and it's one that carries us through some very difficult times and turbulent waters. But to bear together with a common focus is the important message that I believe is echoed time and time again here in Albany County. So I thank the private sector, the public sector, the not-for-profit that gathers here this evening to remind us that we're in this experience together.
In recent years, county government has ensured that our most vulnerable seniors continue to receive high-quality medical care and at an affordable cost. Additionally, county government has established a land bank so that blighted and abandoned properties can be returned to the tax rolls and our neighborhoods can thrive. These are just a few examples of how Albany County government is working. I look forward to a continued partnership between the county executive, the county legislature. Together, we can continue to make Albany County a better place to live, work, and raise a family. I look forward to hearing what this year's State of the County will outline, and I am pleased to introduce Albany County Executive Daniel McCoy.
Chairman Morse, Majority Leader Camiso, Minority Leader Carmen, Controller Connors, Sheriff Apple, which is a better stand-in with you, District Attorney Soares, County Clerk Hidley, and members of our state legislative delegations, members of the Albany County Legislature, invited guests, and my fellow citizens of Albany County. I thank you for joining me for the State of the County Address. And thank you to them ladies. That was a beautiful song that you did with the national anthem. It's a Father Lefevre. Though you represented the police, you should have represented the firemen. That was very nice, Benediction. 4 years ago, I began this administration with the promise and the belief that we could and that we would make a positive difference in the lives of the residents of Albany County. A promise that we could and that we would stabilize county finances, make our county safer, more secure, make the delivery of critical county services to our seniors, to our youth, to our veterans, and to those who are disadvantaged and more effective and more efficient. And a promise that we could and that we would do all of these things without placing any undue burden on the real property taxpayers of our county. Well, tonight, I'm pleased and grateful to deliver a State of the County message that will tangibly demonstrate these promises we kept as the result of the State of the County is strong and that our county future has never looked brighter. As I took office, our county financial picture was bleak. We faced significant structural deficits, a nursing home that was costing our taxpayers nearly $1 million a month in unreimbursable expenditures, a workforce that had not seen a cost of living adjustment in years, county programs and services that have been drastically reduced, and most disturbing of all, taxes that have been dramatically increased to close significant budget gaps. But with your support, we quickly began putting into place efficiencies and reforms throughout all of our operations, and as a result, we turned the corner on county finances. For 3 years in a row, I presented structural balanced budgets, and my administration did it without depleting any county reserve funds or using any budget gimmicks such as one-shots. By the end of 2014, we had added over $12 million to our fund balance, and we project that our county fund balance for this year will be over $42 million. An amount higher than any time in county's recent history, and nearly double the amount of the reserve funds when I took office. Most importantly, the real property taxes of Albany County were not only stayed within the tax cap, but for 2015, we passed a budget that provided no real property tax increase, and we sent out a message to new residents and to businesses alike that in Albany County, good management, not higher taxes, is the order of business. As you well know, for years, our nursing home was a significant financial strain on county finances, operating, as I mentioned, at an annual deficit of nearly $12 million. We initially disagreed on how to solve the problem, but we ultimately came to an arrangement on changing the management structure, and as a result of the efficiencies put into place and the cooperation of our union employees, the finances of the nursing home have truly turned a corner. We have reduced our financial subsidy by nearly half and anticipate further savings within the next 2 years as we move forward with renovations to the facility that were largely ignored for over a decade. This transformation of living conditions for our nursing home and residents will improve the quality of life and will increase our occupancy rate. Management of our nursing home is working with my administration to advance exciting proposals as part of the Capital Region request for state DSRIP funding. DSRIP Delivery System Reform Initiative Program is the main mechanism by which New York State will implement a redesign of Medicaid to better increase all access for all New Yorkers to high-quality health care and reduce the overall cost by reducing inpatient hospital administration. New York State has allocated $8 billion to this 5-year program, and we are participating locally along with major regional healthcare providers such as Albany Medical Center Hospital. It is a hope that this new initiative will allow us to expand our on-site services to include a primary care health center. It is expected that the program, at its purpose, new center will include services such as dialysis. This center will permit most resident services to provide on-site, avoiding the inconvenience cost of transportation to off-site facilities. As a primary care center, all these services can be made available to the broader Albany County community, including the veterans who hopefully will soon be housed at the site of the former Annie Lee home. This center has the potential to provide not only more efficient quality care of our nursing home residents, but to residents countywide, including employees, and the utilization of this space has further potential of actually turning our nursing home into a reserve generator for the county. Imagine that. The savings we have achieved to date at the nursing home, coupled with the very real possibility of this transformation project, signals a very clear that in Albany County, good management and creative thinking are the order of business. Bringing new money into the county is equally as important as saving money. Economic development over the past year has grown dramatically. We cut the ribbon on dozens of new expanded businesses. We broke ground on new shoppers at the Latham Circle Mall and celebrated Capital Bank moving its headquarters to the former Wellington Row. We welcome groundbreaking pharmaceutical labs to Colony, opened the Capitol South Campus, and moved Tech Valley High School to SUNY Poly. Additionally, the Albany County Business Development Corporation continues to be a financial tool, helping to fuel business growth in Albany County. Last year, the Altech loan partnered with 5 different banks, a credit union, the Community Loan Fund of the Capital Region, and New York Business Corp to approve nearly $4 million in loans to support 19 businesses, a record year for helping small businesses grow and expand in our county. We also opened up SCCC Albany right here at 112 State Street. And with the setting of the casino in Schenectady, the college is offering an associate's degree in casino and gaming management. The college expects its offering here to grow and to attract many new students. Like our partnership with SCCC Albany, Albany County has advanced economic development by using different approaches, by launching new programs to boost our economy. Last March, we launched Tweet My Jobs for job seekers and employers in Albany County to utilize the web and mobile apps to provide instant access to more than 18,000 jobs in the region. Social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook have been used to post the openings, and we believe that the new app will be a catalyst for job creation. On the topic of catalysts for job creation, who can forget the excitement we all felt on that Saturday morning in August when the Wellington Hotel Annex came down to make way for a new convention center? We literally witnessed an era end and a new future begin for our downtown and for our region. The new convention center will be tied into the Empire State Plaza, to our Times Union Center. In concert with this project, our Times Union Center will be getting a whole new look as well, dramatically enhancing its appeal to the patrons' experience. The improvements will also give us the opportunity to attract even more big-time events like the NCAA tournaments, and will attract even more patrons into revitalizing downtown entertainment district. Speaking of attracting more people to our greater downtown entertainment district, over a year ago, Huffman's Playland, an icon spot for children and family fun, announced it was closing. After more than a year of decisions and searching for the right partner and location, we happily announced in October that the Playland would be moving to the property owned by Huck Finn's. This announcement was welcome for the revenue and the jobs it will keep in the county. Revitalization will bring to Albany's warehouse district, and of course, for the memories it will create for generations of children and family to come. I want to thank our CRC, Albany County Legislator Gary Demolowitz, the Empire State Development Corporation for their help with this project. I know we all look forward to this spring and seeing this project opened, from creating jobs and revenue to rebuilding our neighborhoods, to being a catalyst for new development. Successful economic development is the order of business in Albany County. The Albany County CRC stepped up to finance this new Zen building at SUNY Poly. This $191 million project is another major reminder of how what is happening here at SUNY Poly and transform both our region and our world. The financing proposal not only helped Albany County, but the city of Albany as well. And for that, I want to publicly thank Dr. K for his leadership and his partnership with us on this. In April, we announced we're establishing the Albany County Land Bank Corporation to end the blight and devastating effects it has on our communities. To help fund the work and revitalize our most challenging neighborhoods, we pledged $1 million with the leadership from the legislature, which actually helped leverage $2.8 million grant from New York State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. We look forward to continue to work closely with the Land Bank and revitalize neighborhoods throughout the county, providing safe, affordable housing. I want to personally thank Mike Jacobson, who is here with us tonight. Mike. and the Land Bank Board and the Community Advisory Committee for their incredible efforts to date. Thank you again, Mike. As you know, providing for safe, affordable housing for our veterans continue to be one of my most important priorities. We have over 19,000 veterans who call Albany County home. Far too many of them who return from service don't have a home, a job, or even a place to sleep. Some are battling alcohol, substance abuse, other mental health issues. All of them need our help. That is why 3 years ago we started a partnership with Soldier On to offer programs for local veterans, such as the training program they offer at our Albany County Jail. For its part, Soldier On is raising money for the campus, where veterans can get the assistance that they need at home. Last May, we held a benefit concert for this project featuring Charlie Daniels, Marshall Tucker. Over $40,000 was raised. Thank you for everyone who helped with this benefit, and thank you to all those involved with Soldier On effort. As a veteran, it troubles me that there are servicemen and women looking for work, struggling to feed their family, finding a place to live. We need to do more for the men and women who have served our nation. Last year, our Veteran Service Bureau helped to over 600 veterans looking for services. For the third year in a row, we have collected thousands of coats for homeless veterans and their families. In May, we announced the opening of the Michael McNulty Center for Veterans Entrepreneur, an activity at the Waterfleet Arsenal. Along with our partners at the Arsenal, the county will assist our veterans. They take steps to start a business. If they need help with marketing plan, they'll get it. If they have legal, financial, or statistical questions, they'll get help they need. I thank all those involved in this effort. I recently joined Senator Schumer to push for legislation that deals with the issue of high rate of suicide among service members. The Jacob Sackton Military Suicide Prevention Act. An act expands mental health services for active duty personnel and gives them the help they need to cope with the stress of everyday life. That bill was signed into law in December, and even better news, in the first few weeks of this year, the Clay Hunt bill was passed, extended to these veterans, and was signed into law by President Obama just last week. Perhaps the greatest challenge facing our Iraq and Afghanistan veterans is reintegration. The global war on terror has taken 10 times as many lives have the conflict in Iraq and Afghanistan. I recently mandated the Albany County Veteran Service Bureau to take suicide awareness and prevention training. I'd like to take a moment to thank our veterans and everyone who's currently serving in our armed forces. We're in your debt. Please know that caring for our veterans and doing all that we can for them is the order of business in Albany County. Another one of my priorities has been to make sure that we do all that we can to ensure the safety of our children. 2 years ago, in an effort to reduce the number of infant deaths caused by unsafe sleeping practice, we launched an aggressive grant-funded media campaign that babies are safest when they sleep alone on their backs in their cribs. Going forward, we will continue our efforts with this effective campaign. 2 years ago, I also established the Bullying Prevention Task Force with a partnership with Chairman Sean Morris to continue to offer the programs and the training on bullying prevention strategies, on creating positive environment for our youth. In October, I signed into law a new effort prohibiting cyberbullying of minors in Albany County. The measure addresses the growing problem facing young people who are victims through online communications. Sadly, there's been an instance across this great country where victims of cyberbullying have given up, ending their lives. The high rate of teen suicide is alarming. Last year, Albany County launched HOPE, a HOPE app. It stands for Help, Options, Prevention, and Education. It's a mobile suicide prevention tool, easy to access, and it's free. This app shows many different suicide warning signs and offers content of information for help and support. Protecting children is also why I signed the law that made Albany County the first in New York State, prohibiting the sale within the county of children's products or children's clothing containing toxic chemicals. I'd like to thank the leadership in the Albany County Legislature and Brian Clanahan, because without this partnership, this wouldn't have happened. There are far too many toys and products that our children play with, are exposed to the content dangerous toxins known to have harmful effects. This law is a step towards making sure that manufacturers and retail produce and sell safer products. Hopefully, it calls to our state and federal government to enact similar protections. In January, we also sounded the call for change in the funding of defense for the poor. The scales of justice are not equal when it comes to those in need of legal defense services. Although we have an excellent public defender and alternate public defender's office in our county, the resources of those offices are not equal and available to the prosecutor and to those who can afford private representation. There should not be two systems of justice, one for the rich and one for the poor. This is wrong and it must stop. In 1963, the Supreme Court ruled the states are required to provide legal counsel for the poor. 1965, New York State passed this responsibility onto the counties as another underfunded mandate. I believe it's time for the state to pay for this program to better protect those who cannot afford a lawyer. That's why I engaged Judge Larry Rosen, whose career has been dedicated to equality and justice, to draft such a law. And it's why I am working with Assemblywoman Pat Fahey to move this bill through the state legislature. I thank them both. As well as all the members of our state legislative delegation have shown interest and support in this important legislation. Working together, we can get New York State's attention and we can get this done. The justice is done. We also need to work together to get our New York State legislature to approve Governor Cuomo's budget recommendations to raise the state minimum wage to $10.50 an hour. Sadly, 13% of our residents of our county live in poverty. For children, it's 17%. That's simply unacceptable. As the governor said in his budget message, if you work full-time, you should be able to pay for rent, pay for food, and not live in poverty. And I have to agree. Raising the minimum wage is an important step toward the goal of lowering the overall poverty rate. And studies have shown that states with minimum wage higher than the federal level have job growth that is actually stronger overall than states with federal minimums. In the coming months, we will continue our strong efforts to get our federal and state government to respond to the concerns we have raised about critical public safety and environmental justice concerns. The dramatic growth of crude oil being transported in the county, and the proposal by Global to expand their facility near the Port of Albany. Yesterday, the tragedy in West Virginia sadly demonstrates that why we are justified in being concerned about the risk of our county's population, property, and resources proposed by the very real dangers associated with derailment, fires, spills, explosions, and other incidents related to the transportation of crude oil. Last year, we took action as a result of the request by global companies to significantly expand of crude oil shipped through the city of Albany and down the Hudson River, and to build a 2,600 square foot facility and up to 7 boilers at the Port of Albany. In January, I sent a letter to the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation in which I called information from Global so that there could be a more comprehensive, public, transparent review of the company's plan. A few days later, Governor Cuomo responded to the concerns I and other local leaders raised by directing 5 state agencies to review the safety procedures. Still, as county executive, I felt more needed to be done to protect the health and safety of county residents. So in March, I issued an executive order directing Albany County Commissioner of Health to issue a moratorium on the expansion of the processing of crude oil at the Port of Albany, pending a public health investigation by our county health department. I also created an expert advisory committee headed by Peter Iwanowitz, a former DEC acting commissioner, to conduct an investigation to the report on the transportation of crude oil through Albany County and the potential impact on large-scale disaster could have on the health, safety, and lives of the people of Albany County. Additionally, I call for legislation that would impose jail time, penalties for not reporting spills in a timely fashion. Along with Mayor Sheehan, I have filed extensive comments with the United States Secretary of Transportation, as well as with our State Commissioner of Environmental Conservation. We have called on Secretary Fox to exercise emergency authority to address the risk of Albany County faces. While phasing out the DOT 111s is a positive step, the time issue of implementation of this phase is still too long. Also, we have called for the acceleration of the implementation of positive train control. We have called on the department to mandate reduced train speeds for trains carrying flammable liquids proximal to densely populated urban areas. We have called for more information for first responders, and we've asked the department to require carriers to provide financial insurance for reimbursement in the event of an incident. And with that regard to global, we've asked Commissioner Martin to rescind the DEC's negative declaration to require a full environmental impact statement which addresses any and all potential adverse environmental and public health impacts related to this project. I am pleased that our efforts have not gone unnoticed. Newspaper and journalists from across this nation, internationally, have reported on what we have done. And to that regard, we have helped amplify the issue and concerns the need for change. I believe that as directed a result of our actions, that they were successful in getting New York State to extend the public comment period several times to allow more citizen input. We need to be sure that any progress in shipping of crude oil is safe and to fully evaluate that impact on public for the air quality and what any expenditure of crude oil activity will mean to the Port of Albany and Albany County residents, to our environment. You have my pledge that I will continue to speak out on this issue and to make certain that our federal and state government addresses these risks. I want to take a moment to thank all the elected officials, community leaders, individuals who worked with me on this issue, including Peter Iwanowitz, the chair of my special committee. I particularly want to thank Mayor Sheehan for her partnership with me on this issue and on so many other initiatives. I want to congratulate her on her leadership of our great capital city. As the mayor knows, ensuring that we leave the world a better place for future generations starts with local action. That's why since day one, I have made Albany County the greenest county in New York State. Last February, I signed an executive order banning the use of e-cigarettes on county property. This order promotes good health, protects those using our buildings from secondhand vapors. Also, during 2014, I convened a Waste Advisory Council to figure out what could be done to change waste disposal issues on all levels. This panel developed proposals so that organic material can be reused as soil and fertilizer. This concept could extend the life of waste handling facilities, create a suitable and beneficial resource for local residents and could result in creating new jobs for a sustainable economy. I'm also pleased tonight to announce the creation of the Albany County new sustainable policy. This policy will be used by county employees to help guide new county projects to limit emissions, toxics, and use of energy throughout Albany County. As part of the Green Infrastructure Initiative for the last 3 years, we've been working to open 9-mile stretch of the old Delaware and Hudson Railroad between the Port of Albany and Voorheesville as the Albany County Rail Trail. Once completed, the rail trail will link municipalities along a safe and accessible pedestrian and bicycle routes. This past year, the rail trail saw significant advancement, with sections from Voorheesville to Bethlehem now open to the public. In anticipation, the majority of the trail will be open for public enjoyment sometime in the fall of this year. The rail trail success is an attitude and partnership to many volunteer efforts and to our partnership with all the communities along the trail. Great partnerships can accomplish great things, and working on building effective partnership is the order of business in Albany County. Case in point, Lawson's Lake. For years, the county resources went largely ignored, but over the course of the last 3 years, we have mostly, through volunteer efforts, turned Lawson Lake into the jewel of Albany County. Last summer, more day camps were offered by St. Catherine's Center for Children, the Boys and Girls Club of Albany County, and the Pride Center of the Capital Region. Cleanup has gone non-stop, with volunteers from the trade buildings, from construction unions, and with the help of so many partners, including Home Depot, the Boy Scouts, and of course, Albany County Sheriff Apple and District Attorney Soares. On September 11th, we partnered with New York State and American Corps and had over 500 volunteers do everything from cleaning up debris to painting cabins. The enthusiasm of many young American Corps volunteers was contagious. And it was one of the highlights of the terrific year and illustrated that the opportunities at Lawson Lake are endless. Just this past weekend, dozens took part in the first ever Take a Friend Snowmobiling event on the park trails. We partnered with the New York State Snowmobile Association and our local school districts to get the word out and to introduce children of all ages to the natural winter beauty in Albany County. This initiative with Sheriff Apple and District Attorney Soares is but one of many times our offices have collaborated successful for the benefit of Albany County residents. Tonight, I'm announcing what I believe is one of our most crucial collaborations to date. A coordination, statistic effort to deal with the crisis of opiate addiction in our county. Problems with prescription drugs, heroin, and other opiates are a commonplace in our suburbs, rural communities, as they are in our cities, and require a coordinated call to action. To deal with this crisis, we'll take a 3-part approach that involves action, awareness, and progress. With regard to action, county law enforcement officers are doing an excellent job coordinating information and resources from federal, state, and local authorities, and will continue to target and cut off opiate supply to the region. Our county health department will offer Narcan training classes to the general public twice monthly to afford people of any part of the addiction spectrum, addicts, loved ones of addicts, concerned community members, educators, and others access to information on this important reversal drug that truly save lives. We will also work with local law enforcement, prosecutors, public defenders, and the courts to develop or adopt programs to divert offenders to drug education programs or to social service programs, where offenders can seek appropriate treatment as an alternative to arrest or incarceration. With regard to awareness, our Department of Health, Mental Health, and Children, Youth, and Family will provide outreach to schools, including educational pamphlets and posters on warning signs and resources for help, include information on the New York Good Samaritan Law and Narcan. Our Department of Health is currently working with BOCES and other partners to ensure that educational programs in schools districts across this county specifically deal with opiate use. The process aspect of this initiative will involve the creation of an opiate resource board that will be tasked with reviewing the implementation of these policies, making modifications as needed, and develop additional policies and approaches. Members of this board and the date of the countywide opiate summit will be announced in the coming days. Through coordination, action, awareness, and progress, we will do all we can here in Albany County to deal with this crisis. Literally every day, thousands of Albany County residents are touched and benefit from programs administered by or sponsored through our county departments. Programs that are innovative, effective, and even life-changing. Programs that deal with the challenges of poverty, mental illness, child welfare, aging, and so much more. Programs designed to create a better opportunity for a struggling middle class, poor, so as to improve the quality of life of our community and to make a better future for our children. On any given day, anywhere from 400 to 800 individuals come through the doors of our social services department for a variety of protective and preventive social and financial services, as well as for training and child support so that residents we service can go on to a better, more productive life. Also, the department, along with the Veterans Service Bureau and local veteran organizations, have implemented a unique Veterans Identifier, a program to assist veterans and their families in navigating the matrix of DSS services to which they are largely legally entitled. Likewise, our Department of Mental Health interacts with hundreds of individuals through a variety of programs designed to assist those dealing with complex of mental illness. During the coming year, the department, in partnership with our county probation department, with participation with New York State Division of Criminal Justice Service, in a unique program that will result in a system mapping of community intercepted points between criminal justice system and the mental health treatment system in order to reduce recidivism. Last month, representatives from my office, our Department of Health and Mental Health, our county sheriff, public defender, district attorney, accompanied the leadership of the city police department to Seattle to learn more about the City Drug Prevention and Arrest Division program known as LEADS. This program provides law enforcement the opportunity to give offenders the choice: be arrested or meet with a counselor or get social services agent and avoid the court system altogether. Santa Fe recently adopted this model for the people addicted to heroin and prescription opiates. My administration supports this effort and congratulates all those involved in their commitment to the innovative program. Tonight, I also want to congratulate and thank Dr. Jim Crescetti for 25 years of service as our County Health Commissioner of Health. Our health department provides programs and services that affect the lives of every resident in the county. The National Academy of Science describes the concepts of health as a public good and says that the fundamental duty of government to protect and promote the health of the public. According to the Academy, government has unique responsibility to do the best upon the constitutional practical foundation. I'm proud of our health department. It has embraced this duty as it ensures compliance with the provisions of the state law in the areas of family health, communicable disease control, chronic disease prevention, community health assessment, health impactment plan, environmental health, and public health emergency preparedness, emergency health procedures. I anticipate the department will also be active partner in the implementation of the project funded under DSRIP, a project that the county further enhances the health of our county. All these departments work well because of many factors. Factors such as effective leadership of our commissioners and deputy commissioners, the dedication of staff. It's very important because these departments collaborate effectively with each other. Toward that end, we implemented a system where departments meet in clusters, breaking down any silos or territorial borders so that they can interact seamlessly in a partnership on strategic initiatives. Again, one example of good government, smart management leading to better results. As an example of this collaboration approach between the Department of Health and the Department of Children, Youth, and Family resulted in a single point entry or one front door initiative, where all referrals from hospitals and families and community groups will come to one centralized intake, and they'll be matched to the services that will be needed for that child or family needs. Our Department of Children, Youth, and Family is one of only 6 departments in the state of New York chosen by New York State Office of Child and Family Services as a juvenile detention alternative site. The goal of the program is to further reduce the unnecessary and inappropriate placement of youth in detention, with particular focus on reducing racial and ethnic disparities within the juvenile justice system. This initiative will take on even more greater importance if the governor proposal, which I strongly support, to raise the age of criminal responsibility to 18 is approved. So too, our Project Growth Initiative, which is administered through our Department of Law and our Crime Victim Sexual Violence Center. This initiative, the first of its kind in New York State, provides an important service to victims and learning experience for juveniles involved by our court by providing an alternative juvenile justice process. Last year, our Crime Victims and Sexual Violence Center dealt with over 10,000 victim-client contracts and over 20,000 units of client services. The center is working with the Albany Police Department, assisting victims and families, and witnessing with objective emergency services to support following an incident of a gun violence in their community. The objective of this project is to transform the emotional and psychological response to violence in the community from revenge to community engagement. As you know, we just created, with your approval, the new position of Director of Youth and Recreation Program within the Department of Children, Youth, and Family Services. The new director will work in conjunction with local community and nonprofit organizations to enhance support programs aimed at recreation, healthier learning activities for youth within our county, particularly those parts of our county where youth are underserved. In Albany County, the quality of program for our seniors is also the order of business. Our senior residents deserve the very best service we can offer. Toward that end, our County Department for Aging services nearly 11,000 persons over the age 60 and older, along with family caregivers. Through a variety of programs, our agencies make it possible for individuals to live with independence and dignity in their homes as long as possible, delaying or avoiding the higher cost levels of care. Last year, we delivered nearly 140,000 nutrient meals to nearly 800 seniors, nearly 50,000 hours of home care, over 30,000 hours of adult daycare. Our goal going forward is to enhance these programs, to make these programs even more accessible. We're doing just this very thing through our Albany County single point of entry access line. It is engaging seniors by giving them a better understanding and appropriation of the cost-effective non-medical support. This is exactly what I pledged 3 years ago, as what we deliver every day in every department, in every program within our county government. It has been said that good government is an endless pursuit, one that requires constant commitment and unending vigilance. I commit to you tonight that we will never waver from that commitment, for that commitment will always be the order of business. Our late Governor Mario Cuomo once observed, "The philosophy of government is the patterns revealed between the lines that connect hundreds of decisions government make day-to-day basis." Tonight, I've talked about a lot of those decisions that were far from easy. About reaching compromise and keeping our nursing home open, about turning around its finances and the quality of life of its residents, about improving the overall financial health of the county, staying under the cap, and not raising taxes. About not compromise on the delivery of the important and vital services that assist our seniors, our veterans, our disadvantaged, and our disabled. And about protecting the health and safety and welfare of the residents of this county, even when some said we were tilting at windmills. So connect the lines. The philosophy of our county government has been clear. Government can be, should be, and must be a positive force for the good of the individuals we serve. I began this evening by telling you that was the promise I made 4 years ago to the residents of Albany County. We've kept that promise, and as we go forward, we'll do even more. In closing, I want to thank our governor for his constant support of our efforts. I also want to thank all of our dedicated, hard-working employees of our county government and all the partners who have collaborated with us in delivering the vital services to our residents. And I particularly want to thank each and every one of you for your efforts to make Albany County as responsive to the needs of our residents as possible. Even when we're different in our approach, we've always essentially wanted the same goal. But most importantly, I want to thank our residents for their own involvement and commitment to our county. They're the ones that make Albany County so special. Thank you all for joining me this evening. May God bless Albany County, and may He bless our great nation. Thank you.